Welcome everyone, my name is Nicole and this is a nice little yoga stretch routine that can be done in 15-20 minutes. So we are on my homestead right now and the sun is starting to set, so it's just lovely. I hope you enjoy the birds and the lighting. I did put my mat a little bit close to an ant pile, so I filmed the class right before this, and anyway, so please forgive me if I get shifty. We are going to begin seated. So please find a comfortable seat. Maybe that looks like sitting up on a bolster, up on a block if you feel like you twinge in the knees. And then maybe sway side to side, grow a little taller. Pick those shoulders up and roll them back. And let's just take a few deep breaths here, breathing in through the nose and out. And breathing in and out. If you'd like to set an intention for the class, now's a great time. Maybe just a word, anything that calls or resonates with you. Anything you'd like to see more of in your life. And let's start by inhaling the arms up, overhead, and twisting to the left. The exhale, inhale, center, top. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhaling up, exhaling, twisting. Inhaling up, exhaling, twisting. And then back to center. And we're going to come undone here and come around on all fours. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. You can have your toes curled under or flat. And we're just going to move through some cat-cow here. So for our cow, tilt the pelvis, press down through those hands and away, broaden collarbones. And then curl in through the core, round behind the heart, cat. And move back and forth now for a few rounds at your own pace, at your own breath. And then from all fours, come back to neutral. Curl your toes under if they aren't, and then lift the knees. Shift your hips back towards your feet, and then kick those hips high to the sky. Downward dog. Look forward between your hands. Make sure that they're bright and active, clawing at the mat. And then using that to press those hips up. And very lastly, you can work towards straight legs, but it's not all that important. And breathe. And then we're gonna inhale, come forward into plank. Pause here. Lower to your forearms. Clasp your hands. Keep your elbows under your shoulders. Forearm plank. You can always lower your knees too at any time. Rotate the hips off to the right side. Inhale back to center. Rotate off the other way. Back to center. One more round. And then come all the way down. Hands under your shoulders. Roll your shoulders up and back. Press down through the hands. Upward facing dog. Everything lifts off except your hands and feet. And then curl over your toes. Press back into downward dog. And take some breaths here. And when you're ready, inhale, right leg to the sky. And then we're gonna step it through between your hands. And if the step through is challenging for you, you can use blocks on either side of your foot. And then from here, we're gonna pivot to the long edge of our mat. Toes are pointing toward the long edge of our mat. Hands to hips, tilt that pelvis like in cow. And then go ahead and forward fold. Use blocks if it's really intense on your hamstrings. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, fold. Maybe a little micro bend in the knees. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, look up. And pause. And we're gonna bend our left knee and turn our right toes up. And you can stay high. But if you want to come all the way down, and then we're gonna shift back and forth. So a little skandasana here. And just maybe stay high or come low. But we're inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And pause back, center, and then turn back to the front of your mat into this lunge. Step back into plank, pause, and then lower the knees, open them about as wide as the mat, and then press your hips back. Child's pose for just a moment, breathing in deeply. Rest your forehead on the earth or block. And then inhaling, coming back onto all fours. And from here, step your right knee behind your right wrist. Scoot your back foot out. Come into a little pigeon. And we're gonna stay high. So use blocks either under your right hip or on the sides. Squeeze, so you can lift off here if you wanted to. And if you want to kick the back foot in and reach for it or lasso it. And if you're like, oh, I got this, then you can bring it in even more. You can be a little mermaid. And go ahead and release. Turn back, lift the back knee, step back into downward dog for a minute to really get some extension, lifting those hips high. And come back onto all fours. And we're gonna draw the left knee in now behind the left wrist. Send your right leg back behind you. And then either put a block under your left hip here for a little support, or have blocks on either side. You can stay lifted and feel secure. But you want to keep having you don't want to just, now that we're down here, fall all out everywhere. You want to keep this engagement going. Breathe. And maybe you want to kick the back foot in or lasso it, reach for it. Pause anywhere that you're like, oh, I feel this. This is great. And that's perfect for you. And then maybe you want to keep drawing it into the little nook in your elbow. And then that same active legs reaching around. And then go ahead and release and come out. Step back in a downward dog for just a moment. Maybe turn the feet and shift side to side. And then inhaling, come forward into plank, lowering through chaturanga, lower all the way down. Let's do a little Sphinx. So elbows under shoulders, press down through your forearms, drawing your elbows into you, broaden those collarbones. Breathe. Do neck rolls if you like, maybe little figure eights here. And either stay here or reach back for your ankles and kick up. And release. Hands under shoulders. Press up to plank. And shift back in a child's pose for just one moment. Take a deep breath in. Down. And then press yourself to a seated position. Shift the hips off to the left and reach up and over. Look up or down depending on how your neck feels. Inhale through center. Hips off the other way. Up and over. And inhale. Back to center. Bring the feet out in front of you. Soles of the feet to touch. Press them firmly together. Hands behind you. Lift your heart. Maybe shift your pelvis closer to your feet. Maybe not. But do try to sit tall. And breathe. You can even just see breathing here. Maybe come around for your feet. Open them like a book. Keep pressing the binding. Drawing those feet into you. Active. My teacher would always carry on about how all the, you get to the floor and think that you should just melt away, but they're actually more advanced because then you're fighting gravity and you're trying to stay active. So way to go. And then bring the feet a little more out in front of you. About 2 fists worth open now. Knife edge of the feet pressing into the earth, pulling in towards me, and then fold over. And then inhale, come on up. Close the knees. And we're gonna prepare to lie down onto our backs. Do a little bridge. Fingertips towards the heels. Roll the shoulders under you. And either use the mat or lift up and clasp the hands behind the low back. And then use your feet. Press your hips high and then away. Maybe lift the toes, see how that feels. Are you engaging your bum? Are you engaging your hamstrings? Are you breathing? And then remove your hands, roll down. Hug your knees in for a moment. Roll around if that feels nice. Happy baby, grabbing the outside edges of the feet. And drawing your knees down towards the outside of your torso. Breathing. And then come on out. Hug yourself into a little ball. Squeeze your muscles tight. Hold your breath. And then when you cannot hold it any longer, release out into Savasana. The feet roll out, palms turn up. And just use this moment to integrate your practice. Breathe into any sensations that arise. Just take 2 minutes to fully let it all go. I'll guide you out in just a moment. Please begin to bring small movement back to your body if you'd like to come out and roll to your right side. And press yourself back to a seated position. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope you have a beautiful day. The light within me sees and recognizes the light within you.